ever happens. Nothing ever happens.
Okay, so let's dive in. Let's start with the drums. The drums sound like this. Okay, so the drums are made of two parts. One is the claps, which consists of three parts, which is a Kashmir loop, an addictive drum clap, and my own claps. And together they sound like this. A very nice little groove. The processing is quite insane, I was about to say, but it's quite simple. I cut out the lows, I cut off a bit of the highs, I caught the peaks, I IDS'd the crap out of it, and I also let it be sidechained by the drums. So let's listen to those drums. They sound like this. I added an electronic kick to give it more oomph, to give it more punch, to give it more bass. It sounds like this. The processing on that is extremely simple. I cut off a bit of the lower end to give more room to the electronic kick. Together the drums sound like this. The drums are actually inspired by a groove I heard in a song called Someone Like You by the Somerset, which sounds like this. So let's go over to the bass. The bass sounds like this. Here you can see that it is an extremely simple song. It's a 2-chord song. It goes from F sharp to B. And that's it basically. It's in B major. The fun thing about the bass is I added a guitar sound on top of it to make it sound more real. I added string noise. I don't have a bass, so I used the guitar to give it string noise. I cut out all the lows, cut off the fundamental frequencies, I compressed it a bit, I denoised it, I let it be sidechained again by the kick. Some more EQing, some more de-essing. Together they sound like this. Sounds absolutely great. The bass is a contact instrument called Scarby Rickenbacker bass. Can't recommend it enough. Okay, let's go to the guitar. Guitar sounds like this. So again, it's extremely simple. Actually, it's a preset, I think. Yes, it's a surfing preset, which is a very funny. Is it? No, it isn't. Well, the whole song is a bit beachy, a bit tropical, a bit sunny. So a surfing preset was going to do wonders, and so it did. It's quite low in the mix. You won't hear it that well, but it adds some realness to it. I have cutted some lows, I see. Some more lows, I cut it some highs, compressed it, I got the guitar rig on it. It's not rocket science. Okay, so let's go to the steel drums. This is actually the first thing that I made in this song, I believe. The rest came after that. This is how it sounds like. Very fun melody. As you can see, I added a plug sound to make it more full, to give it to fill up more frequencies, as the steel drums themselves were a bit too flat, a bit too frequency sparse. I added a RC20 color on it, which I can't recommend enough either. It's absolutely fabulous. They distorted it a bit, gave it a bit of wobble, a bit of noise, a lot of space, and it sounds great. So let's go over to the Kalimba. The Kalimba is almost exactly the same so let's go to the Kalimba. The Kalimba is almost exactly the same. It has a pad sound that fills up the frequencies, and it has the kalimba sounds to make it nice and organic, and it sounds like this. Nice jumpy, groovy feeling. What do those now sound like? Well, let me tell you this. They sound like this.
Nothing ever happens within a vacuum, and nothing ever happens without a spark.
Okay, so let's talk about the processing. On the group, there's nothing. It's just for organization's sake. The verse, main Vox, is quite simple processing. It's a bit weird sometimes. The first thing is to make it mono. Actually, my mic already records mono, but when I work with stereo mics, I like to make it mono, as my voice is mono. Some auto-tune on it with a low retune speed, so it only goes on in longer notes, so I don't sound fucking T-Pain. EQ, cut out the lows, as always, not always, don't do it on a bass. L2 to catch the peaks. I recently changed to just an aggressive compressor instead of an actual limiter, which it's a bit too much. I de-essed it quite a lot to make the S's disappear. I put another compressor on it from RFox from Waves, some slap delay to make it sound great, some chorus to give some information in the wide areas, just a little bit, some delay which sounds like this.
Nothing ever happens within a vacuum. Nothing ever happens without a spark. And as I lay down waiting in this cooked up little room,
Valhalla is the greatest reverb ever. And then it ends with some low cuts. So the verse dub, there's also an added track to make it sound more full, just as I did with the kalimba and the steel drums, and with the bass I added another track to make it more full, to make it more, in this case, give it more side information.
nothing ever happens.
Make it heavily chorused, give it some weird effects to make it sound, where the original sound doesn't have it. And it sounds like this sound.
Nothing ever happens within a vacuum. And nothing ever happens without a spark.
Absolutely amazing. So last thing I want to talk about is the ambient sound, which is just a BBC swimming pool sound. It's very low in the background, except for this part. Here.
Nothing ever happens.
Screaming child in my song. So fun. Actually, knitted scream. I actually stole that idea from Supertramp with their song called School. It sounds like this. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Never